For months, trash day had followed the exact same routine. I placed my trash can at the curb and went on with my day. At least, that's how it was supposed to work. Every week, I would come home and find the trash can knocked over. Garbage would be scattered across the street and lawn. At first, I thought it was simply bad luck. I cleaned the mess without complaining. These things happen from time to time in any neighborhood, but the pattern soon became impossible to ignore. After several months, the damage started adding up. Lids were cracked, wheels were broken, and repairs became expensive. Something clearly wasn't accidental anymore. One morning, I noticed Karen watching from across the street. The HOA president seemed unusually interested in my trash can. That observation stayed in my mind. Neighbors quietly mentioned similar encounters involving Karen. Apparently, she had strong opinions about curbside appearances. The story sounded unbelievable at first. Instead of making accusations, I decided to gather facts. I installed a security camera overlooking the street. The footage would answer every question. A few days later, the camera captured exactly what I needed. The footage showed someone approaching the trash can repeatedly, and the person wasn't who I expected. Karen appeared on the recording multiple times. She wasn't collecting trash or inspecting anything official. She seemed far more interested in moving the can itself. By that point, I had enough evidence to understand the problem. But instead of confronting Karen immediately, I had a better idea. If she wanted to keep interfering, she'd soon get a surprise. A few days later, my replacement finally arrived. From the outside, it looked like a completely normal trash can. The difference was hidden where nobody could see it. I had reinforced the new container to prevent it from tipping easily. The goal wasn't to trap anyone or cause harm. I simply wanted it to stay exactly where it belonged. Karen noticed a replacement almost immediately. She spent several minutes staring at it from her driveway. That alone told me everything I needed to know. Instead of confronting her, I kept watching the cameras. Sooner or later, curiosity would get the better of her. All I had to do was wait. A few days later, Karen walked toward the curb once again. She looked around to make sure nobody was paying attention. Unfortunately for her, the cameras never blinked. Karen grabbed the container and tried moving it. Instead of rolling away easily, it barely moved at all. The look of confusion was immediate. Determined to prove a point, she tried again. This time she used considerably more effort. The trash can remain exactly where it was. Several neighbors happened to witness the entire scene. Their reactions ranged from surprise to amusement. Karen clearly wasn't enjoying the attention. That evening, I reviewed the footage once more. The recording showed exactly what had happened. There was no room left for misunderstanding. The next morning, Karen appeared at my front door. This time, she wasn't talking about trash collection. She wanted to discuss the replacement container. I politely showed her several screenshots from the camera footage. For the first time, Karen had no immediate response. The evidence spoke for itself. Karen left without issuing a single new complaint. But the story was far from over. The HOA board was about to learn what the cameras had captured. A special HOA meeting was called the following week. Several board members wanted answers after seeing the footage. Karen suddenly found herself on the defensive. The video clearly showed Karen approaching the trash can multiple times. There was no confusion about what had happened. Everyone in the room watched in complete silence. Karen tried explaining that she was only inspecting the property. Unfortunately, the footage didn't support that explanation. The board members looked increasingly skeptical. Additional screenshots were distributed around the room. Each image showed the same pattern of behavior. The evidence became impossible to ignore. When asked to speak, I kept my comments simple and professional. I wasn't interested in creating more conflict. I only wanted the interference to stop. The discussion soon shifted away from trash cans entirely. Board members began focusing on leadership responsibilities. That conversation made Karen visibly uncomfortable. Several residents attended the meeting as observers. Many were surprised by what they learned that evening. Rumors were finally being replaced by facts. After hours of discussion, the board reached a decision. A formal vote was conducted before everyone present. The outcome wasn't what Karen expected. Karen left the meeting noticeably quieter than usual. The confidence she once carried had completely disappeared. For the first time, she faced real accountability. After that, trash day returned to being completely normal. The can stayed upright, and nobody touched it again. Sometimes the best solution is simply letting the facts speak for themselves. What started as a simple trash can problem became a lesson in accountability. Evidence accomplished what arguments never could, and the neighborhood was much quieter because of it.